On this episode of Tales of Car Buying, I recall that one time that I got pink eye from a BMW. Welcome back to the Auto Obsessive Garage for another installment of Tales of Car Buying. Now this one, a warning beforehand guys, it does get a little graphic. I'll save the squeamish, disgusting photos to the end of the video. How's that sound? Those of you sickos that are into that stuff, hang tight, it's coming up. So, the title, yeah, that's something interesting, isn't it? Pink eye from a car. But let me tell you a story. This story begins on a cold, dark, rainy night when my good friend Frank of Another Pointless Automotive Podcast fame, my co-host, yes, the brown-haired handsome gentleman in this cartoon image, decided that we should go in together on restoring a 1990 BMW 325i. Fantastic car. We love E30s. Who doesn't love E30s? One of the best cars BMW ever made. But this one carried a curse with it. So, receiving the car on this dark rainy night, it looked well worn. It needed some loving touches that I could apply. However, when we started to get into the car, and by we I mean me, I was definitely the aunt or Ed China in this relationship. No offense, Frank, you did a great job with what you had to do. But we got into this car, into the garage, we started digging through, and immediately some check lights were on. For those of you not familiar with the E30 platform, there is a check light system that shows faults with the system and illuminates them and tells you where to look for issues. This is a great system, to tell you the truth. Before OBD2 came out, this was a good way to troubleshoot and diagnose issues. Anyway, a check light was on for coolant. Checking the system, we had plenty of coolant. Started digging a little more, and guess what we found? Chewed up wires, especially the wire going to the coolant sensor in the overflow tank. This is a bad sign. Rodent damage, I'm not going to downplay this issue guys. Rodent damage can be very expensive, it can be very problematic to troubleshoot depending on how hungry the rodents are, where they were in the car, how long they were there, all kinds of horrible expensive issues, and can lead to many frustrating hours of troubleshooting. However, this one wasn't too bad on the wire damage front, but more on the health front, which is fine because we can recover from health, but wire damage, we can also recover from that. Never mind, that was a wash. But anyway, that was an easy thing to source. Replacing that wire, fixed it up, the light was resolved, we were good, we were in business. But we weren't done yet. You guys know me. Of course I have to be obsessive in cleaning out my cars. It's something I do. This BMW, however, carried this history of sitting for nearly 15 years. Cars that sit. Now this becomes a whole other can of worms sometimes. All kinds of things can go bad. Rodents can infest the car. If there's leaks in the roof, that can become a huge issue with mold. Sitting cars are usually problematic sort. But this one, rodents took place. So I saw signs of rodents, lots of poop in there, lots of nest material, right around where the exhaust manifold is. They kind of nested down in there. The intake had some signs too. So I knew what I was getting into, but I wasn't smart. And the moral of the story is be smart when you're dealing with this stuff, guys. Here's what happened. So clearly, it didn't really reveal the scope of the problem until I pulled the intake off. So the air intake in the throttle body area was all jammed full of mouse like nuts, acorns, and fecal matter. Same thing with under the hood. So there's like a hard-ish hood liner on the E30 BMWs. That thing was his home. That and the intake were where this mouse decided to live. And it could have been a family of mice at some point. Regardless, it was just full of feces, full of fur, full of nesting material, full of acorns, all the telltale signs that you have a rodent problem. Oh boy, this is where things took a turn. So in my infinite wisdom, I just simply replaced the air filter, cleaned out everything by hand, did it all in my garage with the doors shut, no ventilator, no face mask. I also did one of the worst things you can do, bang on that hood liner before I ultimately ended up taking it down to clean out behind it. But I basically, through that stupid set of actions, introduced basically rat feces bacteria airborne in my garage in a sealed environment. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I simply just cleaned it up, went about my day. Next day, felt a little off, not horrible, just a little, felt a little congested, my eyes were a little itchy, but the day after that, I knew something was really up. So I woke up, all the telltale signs. If you've had pink eye, congratulations. If you haven't, let me kind of describe it to you. I have no medical background, but I can describe what it was like for me. This was the second time I had pink eye in my life, so I knew that distinct crustiness around my eyes waking up. It's unusual. You don't usually wake up like that. You have every once in a while you get something, but not like this. So waking up, crusted eyes, and I was like, oh, this is not good. Everything looked red, a little irritated. So I legitimately had to stop and think, why do I have pink eye? It was after a long weekend of working in the garage. I actually didn't interact with people during this four-day period. So I know that sounds horribly antisocial, but it also made my problem even more confusing because I was like, how did I get pink eye? Which tends to be a social thing, you get it from other people. It's super contagious actually. But I could just remember that scene. What scene was that? Was it Superbad or was it Knocked Up? I can't remember the scene where you can get pink eye from someone farting on your pillow. So it must have been a self-inflicted fart to the eyes in my mind. And then I stopped and thought, oh my God, the mouse stuff I cleared up 2 days ago. And that's exactly what it was. So I did a very bad thing. So obviously had to go get it checked out, got some antibacterial eye drops, and that was good. Actually, it really cleared up. I'm gonna show you the graphic pink eye images at the end. We'll save that. We don't wanna get demonetized, but it is for a medical reason, so hopefully it's not thought of as that. But on top of that, I also got a respiratory infection. So the bacteria from the rat feces, obviously I breathed it in like an idiot, didn't have a mask on or anything like that. I had basically, I don't know how to, pseudo pneumonia symptoms, really chunky breathing, really congested, a really strong sinus infection for a good 2 weeks because of this. That took a long time to clear, antibiotics and everything, and resting up took care of that. But I was really sidelined for this time just because of a mouse and a BMW that had a family of mice living in it. I did ultimately find the mouse's corpse. It was long expired, probably died maybe a decade ago, but all its feces, everything was in there just resting in that state. So yeah, here's the little mouse. I'll show a little beautiful image of that. This is the little guy that really screwed me over. Good times. But, so we got that all cleared up. The rest of the cleanup I did obviously with a full ventilated mask, hand protection, and opening up windows in the garage door helped a lot. So vacuumed up all that residue. So we were planning to sell the car, so I would not want to push something that dangerous downstream to the next owner. So we did a thorough cleaning, super clean engine bay, and got everything out of there. But I do want to stress this, guys, when you do get a car that's sitting for any extended period of time, or you open the hood and you see any mouse footprints, feces, fur, a nest, even before you start digging that material out with your hands or vacuuming, especially vacuuming because it does actually agitate it and make it spread into the air, go ahead and put a ventilator on. The minimum you should have is a paper mask. We all got masks because of COVID and everything, but get yourself a really good ventilated 3M filter mask or whatever other brand, something you use for painting or something to that effect. Because it's not even worth the risk to even play around a little bit, especially if you're in a non-ventilated area like a sealed garage. I can't stress this enough. Hand protection, eye protection, 100% wear some goggles. I have really good quality goggles I use for when I'm doing really nasty home improvement stuff like drywall cutting, things of that nature that I don't want to introduce things into my eyes. Should have been wearing them, should have been thinking. But in the future, that's just a heads up for you guys. Anytime you're messing with mice or rodents, it can be any type of rodents, rats, mice, squirrels, chipmunks, moles, I don't even know, whatever else there is. Critters from that movie from the 80s. If you got some of those under your hair, well, they'll probably kill you before the feces will, but just a heads up on that front. So any kind of furry creature making a nest in a car that's sat for a while, do take these precautions, guys. Do the initial inspection outside or in an open space so you're not breathing that bad stuff in. But yeah, it was pretty bad. Like I said, Pink eye only hung out for a couple days. It was dramatic to say the least, which you'll see in the images. But the respiratory thing's really what got me. 2 weeks for breathing, couldn't like run, couldn't exert myself. Kind of felt like general crap for a good 2-week period. So I love it. My good friend introduced me to an awesome BMW that I was looking forward to restoring, and also introduced me to pink eye. So I am gonna say shout out to Frank. Thank you for hooking me up with that. I'm just kidding, he had no idea it was that bad. But I did want to tell you guys, I think the title's funny. I think it's interesting that I got pink eye from a vehicle, especially a BMW. But honestly guys, if any vehicle, let me know in the comments, what vehicle do you think would be most likely to give you pink eye? I would probably think a Lamborghini or something. It seems like a lot of pink eye goes through there. But hey, BMWs are up there too. Some good European sophistication hooking me up with some pink eye. So, at the end of the day, guys, I just wanted to tell you this short story and, reflect upon the one time I got pink eye from a BMW. Thanks for stopping by for Tales of Car Buying and these fun little stories. Every once in a while I pick up a car or I encounter something that's worth sharing, so I want to share the story with you guys. Now for you sickos, let's check out the graphic imagery. I'm telling you, this pink eye was the worst case I've ever had. It is worse than most of the Google graphic image searches, so you've been warned. Check it out, guys. Again, thank you for checking out the content. Stay tuned, we'll be back to some more car reviews and working on other projects. But I had to share this story. So be smart, stay protected, work in a safe environment when you're doing your car stuff, guys. That's all I got for you. Thanks again, as always. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Look me in my eyes.